What's up? What's up? This is our first video as SZN'D. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got something cool to talk about. I want to set the foundation, so we'll have some more like content learning type videos, but I think it's always important to start off with a foundation. Anything you're doing, whether it's getting a degree for a great career, whether it's buying a home, right? Like you have to have a foundation. And so that is why I decided to do this $0 to $1 million blueprint. I know first you're thinking like, oh my gosh, another, get rich quick. It has to be something like MLM, Mary Kay integration, you know, pink Cadillac vibe. And it's really not. I've seen people hit a million in this space, and it just really was the time, right? The timing. That's really all it is. It's consistency and the amount of time. And so for this blueprint, I'm thinking 5 years. I think anyone can become a millionaire in 5 years if they decide what they're doing, like what is your industry, mastering whatever you need to master, and then just showing up every day. I think anyone can do that. And the only reason why I haven't done that is because, well, I wasn't mastering things, and I also was not being consistent. I did not have discipline in the space. I was avoiding the space some weeks, some days based on, obviously crypto falling, and then I would go do something else and come back, right? So in the span of time that I've been here since I found out about Bitcoin, it's been like 7 years. Imagine had I just been focused for 7 years, just endlessly, just all in. So I think it has everything to do with that. But let's talk about building real wealth in crypto. Not just catching like lucky pumps, every day or every week, but creating a long-term strategy that takes you from 0 to 1 million in 5 years. And so if you are serious about this journey, go ahead and drop a like on this video so we can get more people to avoid scams and bad advice that flood the space, because you already know it's a lot of actors and a lot of characters. But let's dive into this. So we're gonna cover like basically like three kind of parts: why a 5 year plan works, year by year breakdown from 0 to 1 million, and then key strategies for trading, investing, and passive income. And excuse, I did this like this little slideshow. So let's just kick it off. Yeah, some of the words don't match. One day I'm gonna get it professional. But so most people treat crypto like a lottery ticket, chasing profits, and the real wealth is gonna come from understanding market cycles, positioning very early, and compounding gains over time. Now, a 5 year plan allows you to catch the full market cycle, farm airdrops, stack capital with minimal risk, and that all starts with kind of who's in charge, right? So in the US, your 5 year plan is going to have a lot to do with David Sachs. He is now the crypto Caesar, depending on how you pronounce it. And he also is attached to AI. And so this man is going to have a lot to say about, more than likely, like regulatory things, how it's taxed, what companies they want to open like random lawsuits against, right? Like XRP all over again, right? So this man has a lot to say, and you're going to want to set up like a Google alerts about this to ensure that you're getting this news, because he kind of holds, at least in America, he has a lot of influence on how we're going to gain this 5 year, gain this 7 figures in 5 years. Now, subscribe if you want the strategies and not hype and FOMO. That is what I'm going to be bringing to you on this channel. So, now this is not a guessing game. This is why I call it a blueprint, because it's actually a roadmap that I've seen a lot of people follow, right? A lot of people start at zero in this space, and you just got to hustle it out. You got to avoid the scams and the quick money traps. You got to catch the full market cycles. You got to build a sustainable long-term portfolio, and you're basically stacking multiple incomes. So initially, year one, what you're doing here, you're gonna set up your wallets, right? You need a MetaMask. I like Rabby wallet. I'm getting to use that because it's multi-chain. Um, you're going to put your seed phrase somewhere, right? Write it down or put it on those cool little metal tags and bury it in the backyard. However you got to do it, memorize it. I say memorize it only because if you were not by your home, or kind of like the fires in, most recently, like those people, they weren't able to get back to that area for weeks. So, although awesome, you hope it's buried where you buried it. And two, if you really needed it to live on because life happened, it's no help to you if it's in the backyard and you can't access that area. Now, secondly, the best thing to do is farm airdrops and testnets. And I know there's let's be honest, like, let's zoom out. Everything in crypto is gonna have a scam element to it. It just is, right? People get to decide today, I'm broke, I'm just gonna create this crap coin and you're gonna buy it and I'm gonna rug you, right? There's a lot of ways to lose money in this space, and so you're gonna have to follow solid accounts. If you go to and I think I did a course on this, I may release that. Is that something you guys would like? Comment airdrop in the comments. I am thinking about dropping that. But yeah, how to find proper airdrops. So if you put airdrops, I'm on here on X, right? Everybody's got their little spiel, right? This, like, is this a real company? Is it not? I don't know. So you do have to take your time to find the right companies that are doing airdrops, right? I would do maybe testnet, because the airdrops are gonna come because you're testing the platform. And so once it gets through testnet, that's usually when they launch their coin, and then they give everybody a portion of that. And so it's a great way to make money. There are going to be some opportunities where you think it's going to go great, everyone thinks it's going to go great, and all of a sudden it's a crappy airdrop. I can't remember which company it was. Was it C or Sui? One of those, I thought I was going to get a big cut of it, and boy, I know a lot of the people in the community were super upset about that, because they basically let us build, do all that work on their testnet, didn't give us nothing. Venom was another one where they, did so much work, and we all had to do all these protocols and all these NFTs we were doing to prove that we did it, and the airdrop sucked. So just assume that 20% of your efforts is going to be wasted, which is why I don't do a lot of airdrops anymore. I try to find really quality ones, because you can waste a lot of time with these companies and they have no shame, right? Sui is so big right now. I think if I'm not mistaken, when Sui came out, it was 50 cents or $1. And Sui now, I think all time high is $5 or $6. So it's yeah, it sucks you didn't get the free coin, but you could have just bought some of the coin and you would have been fine, right? Because it definitely has moved since then. Maybe a full 10x since that airdrop happened. But yeah, so you can go on here and look for different airdrops so that you can qualify for that. And I mean, that's one of the fastest way. I remember with Arkham, people had to sign up for the website, and Arkham gave 200 coins that I think at the time was a couple $100. So sometimes it's really easy where you're just signing up a quick little website with your contact information, and then sometimes it's you're gonna have to do a lot more bridging money and swapping and things like that to really test it. So it just depends, but I would say it's one of the easiest ways. Also, a lot of these influence pages, they're also giving money, right? They have these little, let me show you guys. So this guy, he's always giving away wow, he got so many more followers. Jeez, I feel like when I found him, he was at 300, 400,000. But yeah, so he's always doing his little $10,000 giveaways. I know another guy on here does like 1 soul, 2 soul a day. Oh, he tweets so much. There we go. So this guy won the $10,000. Um, yeah. So this also, right? Like if you're just scrolling, you're following the right people, then maybe you can win like 1 or 2 soul, and that's also going to help you. So don't fade those giveaways. Don't fade the airdrops. Like I will definitely come out with some better way of finding, because it's a lot of people and they will have you doing so many things. And so there are some kind of tips and best practices I want to share in another video, but let's continue. And then learning trading, perpetuals, or even just writing the coin up and down, shorting it, longing it. That's also another way. Like being able to read charts is probably one of the best gifts you could give yourself, because it works for a lot of the currencies and assets, from crypto to forex, stocks. So learning how to trade, or at least reading charts, that is probably going to be one of those things. It's kind of like when you think about money, learning charts is like equivalent of learning Spanish. Like it's a language that you need to understand, and it's always going to make you money. Like once you have that skill, like you're pretty good. So let's talk about year 2. So once you have those airdrops, right, they start coming in. It's not quick, which is why I say a year, because it's just realistic, right? You could start today and doing all these test nets. You may not get the money until August. You may not get the money until this time next year. Hell, it may be 2 years before you get it. And this is why you got to keep doing it, because it takes a while. These companies are trying to attract as much of traffic as they can, to make sure there's not bugs, to make sure that their devs are building an ecosystem that is safe for user funds. So they're not going to be quick to do an airdrop, because they really want to make sure that all these features are being tested, and that they're building a community, to be honest. So that's why I say at least a year. Um, Also during this time, so now you're in year 2, right? You got your airdrops, you're doing that every day, you're trading some. You gotta start building your portfolio. You got a little money now, especially once you get over like $3,000-$4,000. Now you can start looking at actually buy and hold and having some different coins. There's a lot of coins to popular coins to consider. I know a lot of the narratives are on meme coins. You can get some meme coins. I know here in the US, this is probably one of the biggest sectors that, I'm not sectors, but categories that everybody's talking about, which is the made it in the USA, because of the laws and things that the government, the president has been talking about. So I know a lot of people are starting to be like, well, maybe I should just buy this. Okay, so see, we did just have like a big correction, another big correction. So it's kind of bouncing back, but I mean, look at that, 18%. Yeah, we had a rough week. We had a rough beginning of February. But yeah, so you may want to look at some coins in this section if you feel like it'll have an advantage because of it being a US based company. Also here in year 2, oh crap. My notes just disappeared. Also here in year 2 is this web niche. And so this is different ways to make money. A lot of people don't think of crypto like it's an actual place of business where you can like be employed. And so they're building these things, which means they need people, right? They need a customer service rep, they need a sales team, they need somebody to handle partnerships. So whatever your skill set is in web 2, there's a space for you here. And so I want you to start looking into that and seeing how can you make money in web 3. I know back in I want to say a few years ago, when the NFLers were able to get their salary in Bitcoin. Well, obviously, being able to say, "Oh, I make a couple million, but I'm gonna take 80% of that and put it in Bitcoin." Well, what do you think that's worth now? If that was a few years ago, we all know that most people who invested in Bitcoin as of last year, well, they've not lost any money, right? Like whatever they bought, whether they bought at 75,000, 80,000, 85,000, 95,000, they're all doing very well today, even though they bought super high. And so it's important for you to look into these opportunities because they're always building, they're always raising money, and so they're more likely to have uh, positions available because it's, it's still a new category, but a lot of building needs to happen. That's the one thing I always say in anything with crypto. I'm like, if you could only like really walk into this city and like start looking around, be like, dang, look how much is being built. But unfortunately, it's not like that. But it's a lot of companies. Like I wish there was like a real Rolodex where you could see like everything that's being built. It probably would be overwhelming because it's probably like 100, 200,000 companies building at once. But I mean, it would still be just amazing to see how that would look. And yeah, it'd just be amazing to see how that would look. I'm trying to find, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find my script. Like I literally was reading, trying to keep me on pace, and the script literally, I don't know how it disappeared. This is what happens when you read stuff in Chat GPT, because now the script is literally gone and I can't now find it. Anyway, let me see if I can get it to print it again. But yeah, so that's year two. So that's year two, and you kind of know what coins that you should consider. You should be getting closer to that 10,000, right? The reinvesting of the airdrops. Some airdrops you could do like nodes and things like that, or you have to buy a certain NFT. So these are the ones that you would chase, the ones that have a little bit more of a cost to it. Again, airdrops are not guaranteed, but I think if you study the right projects, you'll know when you should invest some cash into it to put yourself in a better position, especially like staking. I remember with there was something, was it Swell? You actually had to like put your money, your ETH into like SZN'D or something, and I didn't really get a lot of coins, but speaking of that, I need to like go get my money. But you have to like put your money into different protocols, and it has to sit there literally for like 12 months, 18 months. So this is when it becomes nice, because now you made some money from the airdrops, and now when you do have to buy an NFT, or you do have to like let your money sit on their protocol for X amount of months, at least it's not money you need today. So it's so funny when ChatGPT doesn't want to do something. It's just be like, this is not in our ramifications. This is not in our jurisdiction. I'm like, bro, like, just give it to me again. Like, why are you making this difficult? All right, so for year three, you should be starting to feel like a master of something. Now, meme coin mastery is going to take a minute. You're going to lose a lot of money, but it's not impossible. These young men and women are making a killing. And from what I've seen, based on some of the people that I have followed, these kids are making like 6 figures a month, and it's taking them like 6 months. And so there's a lot of different pages you could follow to kind of learn and get the edge, as they say, so that you could be in the trenches all day. But trust me, with meme coins, you're gonna have to be focused around the clock. I would say part-time probably 8 hours, full-time 15 a day. Like your whole life is this. But I mean, I see why they do it. I mean, if you can make $80,000-$90,000 a month being locked in on your computer for 15 hours a day, it kind of seemed like worth it. A lot of these popular accounts too, they made a lot of money. Trump dropped his coin last month, and a lot of these people that were just in the trenches, as they say, like they made millions of dollars off that one coin, and they're still in it. Like they don't give up. Finally made 800,000. See, Like, that is crazy. Just one coin, just being one of the first 5,000 people. And so it's not something that you want to ignore. You definitely want to master memes. It'll grow your money a lot faster. Becoming a master trader is also something to consider. It's basically taking your trading to the next level. When we talk about, perpetuals and crypto futures, people can copy your trades, and that allows you to make a percentage when you're profitable. You can charge 10, 20, 30% on as a commission on their profits. So I've always loved the idea of it, because sometimes, you do have it where, say you only traded like $100 and maybe made 20%, but that person trusted your trade, and they risked $5,000, and so now you're getting a percent of that $1,000. You may be getting 10, 20%. And so it's just the stuff like that where you're constantly keeping income, and you can see yourself slowly, like, now that you're building it out, right? You got your portfolios, you got your portfolio, you got your meme coins going, you're doing your master trading, you got a job in Web3. And so as you see, like, it's not unrealistic when you start to see the momentum you're building versus just kind of doing only one or two things. Now you have multiple things that you're doing. And the next thing is being a web 3 builder. Now, because we have things like ChatGPT, this probably has become a lot easier for people, because AI can help you code things in Python, or Solidity, or Rust if you want to put it on Solana. And so even if you personally don't want to build anything or learn how to code, you can partner with people, right? There's sites like Fiverr and Upwork that allows you to hire those developers, and you can build chat bots and different AI agents. And so these are some of the cool things that you should want to consider, because again, as I've said in prior videos, like, crypto should be a lifestyle at this point. Like, it is not going away. Even if certain things about it are going to go away, or legislation is going to tighten certain things up, it's still not going to go away. And so having these skills now, so that by time, say meme coins do go away, it's like, well, you still have so many things that you have been upskilling this whole time. So it's not going to matter to you, right? If you're diversified in your skill set, if you're diversified within this industry, it's not going to matter what the legislation is, because there's always going to be opportunity for you to make money if you are, looking at this more like a lifestyle. All right, so if you're still here, please like this video so that it reaches more people who need a blueprint. I really would appreciate that so much. I'm sorry about my camera tonight. I don't know what happened to my computer, but I don't know. It just was not trying to work with me. So hopefully the audio has been cool. But let's get back into year 4. So year 4, now you're really making money. You're probably a social influencer. So I would say start that year 1. Everybody at this point needs to have a YouTube channel, hence why I'm starting. Like, we need to get some of these lower hanging fruits and stop avoiding it. And I'm one of the ones that's, standing behind that. Like, I've been avoiding creating a YouTube, but clearly there's money there, there's sponsorships there, there's opportunities there that I wouldn't have if I, that I won't have if I don't start. And so you should be a social influencer now. You should probably have a couple 100,000 followers based on your analysis, based on how you cover projects. The RWA, real world assets, you should be taking some of that money and investing into different assets, right? A lot of people go and buy gold. A lot of people put it in the stock market, and get shares of tech companies and AI companies, and or just the regular consumer goods and things like that. So it just depends on what works for you, but you should talk to a financial advisor and figure out what's the best investment, because you do want to take profit. You don't want to always just have all your money in crypto, because crypto has these nice little, like now, The market has literally plummeted since November. Like we had a run up. I'm sorry, not plummeted since November. We had a run up and then it's been plummeting since December. And so, when you want to be able to cash out, sometimes the opportunity is not there. So let's look at this chart real quick. But yeah, so here's this chart of Solana. We did hit a new all-time high back before the inauguration here in America, and now we're down and it went under $200. So again, by having money in other places, if you did need the money, it would already be invested and you wouldn't have to be like freaked out because you can't get your money out because the market has since corrected. And so let me go back. The next thing is venture capital. That is how you really accelerate your wealth, is investing in these companies. And so you can have the tokens from the initial launch, right? Because you're focusing on the test nets and you're participating in, buying and selling and swapping and bridging. But another opportunity is having the capital and investing in that company straight up. So now you own a percentage of what they're building. Again, if you're not a builder or don't want to use ChatGPT, this is a great opportunity. A lot of companies have made millions of dollars by getting into these companies early, right? Like imagine had you been able to buy Solana at 16 cents back when back when they were doing their seed rounds, like, or even Uber and these different tech companies. And so don't sleep on that. We will talk about that, but probably not anytime soon. It's kind of pushing the cart before the horse. Like right now, most of you listening don't have $500,000 to put into this, but if you did, there are some companies. If you just go look up all the companies that you own, you personally hold the token, you can go look and see like how are they raising their money and who's invested in them, and then start going to those crypto events, right? They have all kind of, I think there's one coming up called Bitcoin, I don't remember, but it's event in Vegas, right? So like going to those events, meeting up with founders, meeting up with investors and people who are in the space, and then you'll probably start getting those venture capital opportunities. Now let's talk about year 5. You rule the world, right? You stuck to the game. You should be very close to $1 million, if not more, because it's been 5 years, staying true to yourself, investing smart, making sure you're aware of your local government and the news and how crypto will expand in your region. You rule the world. And I'm not going to talk a lot about what else you could do in year 5 because a lot of you will never see year 5, unfortunately. A lot of you will be distracted, will quit because you can't handle the bear market. And right now this bear bull market, this bull flag we're in, I'm sorry, this bull trap we're in, where it always looks like it's about to run up and then it literally plummets again. You may not be able to handle that, and that's okay. And so that's why I'm leaving this to be to whatever you need it to be. Once you have $500,000, maybe you get rid of crypto. Maybe you don't even care anymore because now you're able to buy your family a comfortable home. You're able to buy, your dad's plumbing business from him, and you just go live your life running this awesome plumbing business and keeping it in the family. And so that's cool too. And so I don't want anyone to get stuck on what year 5 could be because everyone's year 5 is different, right? You may just have kids with your partner and you may just go be a surfer, right? Like all of that is great because at least you stayed down, and if that's what your year 5 is, then great. But I will come back to this probably once we are in past year 1, so that we can just stay focused, because right now all that's important is year 1. That's where we are today. We got to start where we are now. Maybe you are already, like if we go look, maybe you are already in year 2, year 3, And so now you have like a blueprint. So decide where you are, right? That's kind of like the end of this. Decide where you are. Are you year 1? Are you year 3? And if you are at these years, but maybe the money's not there, then it's time to kind of scale, right? It's time to do more airdrops. It's time to get better at trading so that you can start seeing the fruits of your commitment, right? Don't be in crypto 1, 2, 3 years, 4 years like me and never be able to see more than 5,000, 10,000, 30,000, right? Like, you should want to start to see a significant amount of money for your devotion to this space. This space is here to give you the freedom that you're looking for. But if you can't be committed, well, then this is why you may only have so much success and not the entire success. So I encourage you, after you subscribe, go follow us on our Twitter, SZN'D. I encourage you to demand of yourself to make this kind of money. It's out there. You see these kids all the time. You see these screenshots. You see these wallets, right? It's real money. They're really making this money. So this is not just amazing Photoshop, right? Some of it is, but this is why we check the wallets. And so I will leave you with that. Thank you, and I will see you guys.